how about the you mentioned a little bit already the women's status. Tell us about more. That's a topic you feel very passionate about.
Yeah, of course. So well, if you Islam has certain rules and regulations about women and for women, and it's up to women to accept it or reject it, right? So in Iran, when we are talking about Iran, we are talking about before and after most of the time. Before the revolution, after the revolution. After the revolution, because of the Sharia law, many of the laws that women could enjoy was restricted, was forbidden, taken away. And it was a movement because they were women. I mean, like Shirin Ebadi, Mehrangiz Kar, Shahla Lahiji. They were these people who had lots of power. I mean, they were judges, they were publishers, they were CEOs, they were lawyers, lots of power. And the power has taken away. So they wanted to revive that power. What happened was a group of women stand up and started to lead this big movement. So the movement started fairly at the beginning because after the revolution, the Islamic law forced women to cover. They didn't like this idea, and the movement basically started right from there and gained power and momentum until President Rafsanjani's time in 1994, and then in 1996 during the Khatami, that they could change many laws. So, for instance, and I was a part of that. I was writing about women. I was advocating for women. We were a group of journalists who were talking about these laws. So there were women in the parliament, there were women in the CEOs who were advocating for these laws. So what happened was, okay, I always wonder, I mean, this is my favorite thing to say, that how come in Iran you cannot read Lolita, right? Because they say that it's a child pornography. But in Iranian law, a 40-year-old man can marry a 9-year-old girl. What is the child pornography here? But anyway, so the marriage age for girls was age 9. We changed it to age 16. And divorce laws changed. There is this cultural phenomenon, they say it mehriye, means that when you marry a man provides you with money. And then this mehriye, for instance, if my mom married my father 35 years ago, and he, obliged to give her, let's say, $1,000. Due to the inflation and everything, that $1,000 now worth only $2, right? The law changed. They said that you have to adjust. So if it was $1,000 then, you have to pay your wife $25,000 now, for instance. I'm just giving you an example to understand. So this sort of things, or the custody law changed for women, in favor of women. And for the first time, according to Reuters, to Associated Press, for the first time in the whole planet, we had a newspaper, metropolitan newspaper, who was publishing for women, about women, daily, functioning, and it was Iran. I was a part of this newspaper. They called Zan. Zan in Farsi means woman, and the editor-in-chief was the president's former daughter. And so we wrote, I mean, a lot, although the newspaper was shut down just because we published a story about the former queen of Iran. But anyway, my point is that even now the women movement is very, very strong, and they are fighting to get more rights for women. We have many female parliaments, many women CEOs, many women in very key political spectrums. So I think it's very it's unique in this area in the Middle East when you have the Saudi Arabia, and it's very sad when you talk about women. I feel sorry for women there, but only talking about the Saudi Arabia, why don't you talk about Iran, for instance?
So that's very encouraging to hear. I mean, a lot of people here, the stereotype is women were oppressed in all the Islam countries, but that's definitely not the case in Iran.
I don't say that they have a full right freedom, but I would say that they are fighting for it fearlessly. And they are taking this very, very serious, because they say, this is my life, this is my right, and I'm going to fight for it. No matter how much it takes, I need these things to happen. And they are doing it.
Any plans, like you see yourself after get your degree?
Yeah, well, sure. I'm always interested in writing, always interested in talking about the issues that I would say it's like a blockage. It's like the things that has never been talked about in this country. So for instance, women's issues is one of my passion, and talking about pros and cons, and just having a discussion makes people get more relaxed. I mean, when you know more, you fear less. So my aim is to write about some of the stereotypes that we have here, and just trying to explain this, and about women's issues, about freedom of speech in those regions, about Middle East history in general, and my plan is to perhaps travel in the Middle East and report about the news there.
Very good. I think we need that, because there's just a poll coming out 2 months ago, I would say. The Gallup poll found that 43% of Americans, they admit they feel a little bit prejudiced against Muslims. But then when you ask them, how much do you know about Islam and the Muslim, 63% say they don't know much. So it's very important to have the work, let them know more about the religion, about the people and culture, and then reduce that fear, as you said.
Yes, and also for the Middle Easterns, being for the Muslim countries, it's good to know that this country has a lot of precious values that I think can be communicated between the East and West, so to speak. So I'm just hoping that I can be,
ambassador between the two.
tiny, this sort of avenue for this
dialogue,
phenomenon and dialogue. Yes.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.